Welcome back and welcome to the section Watch Video page. In this section, we will build our video player component. Then we'll create the video view model and migration file. And then we'll finish off by getting our video player component to track our video's views. Let's get started by creating our video player component. In this video, we're going to create our video player component. Then we will add a show method to our controller. Then finally, we'll create a show template that we will use to render out our video player component. To build our video player, we're going to be using HTML5 video. In order to make sure our video player works on all browsers, we will be using the VideoJS library. To get started, we will use the Node package manager to install VideoJS. We'll make sure that we save it to our dependencies. While that's installing, we need to make a change to our mix file. While that's installing, we need to make a change to our configuration file for our compiler. Since VideoJS is written in JavaScript and we don't want to compile it as TypeScript, we will need to go ahead and open our webpack.mix.js file and add a configuration to ignore it. Since we're using Webpack, we'll go ahead and use webpack configure and tell the module that we don't want to parse anything in the node modules directory, and we're using a little bit of regex, and say we don't want to parse anything in the node modules directory that has the name related to video.js. VideoJS comes with its own CSS styling, so we want to make sure that we add that to our application. Currently, the only way to do that is to copy the CSS from our package's CSS file directory and add it to our apps CSS directory. First, we'll go ahead and open up our resources, assets, SAS directory, and we'll go ahead and create a VideoJS, or let's just call it video.scss. And then we'll go into our node modules, search for our VideoJS package. Then we go into distribute, look for the video-js CSS, and we'll make sure to copy this over here. I noticed before when I was compiling this that this line right here gives us an issue. I'm still trying to figure out why that is, but I found that just removing it gets rid of the issue and we're all good to go with our CSS. Now we need to go ahead and open up our app.css file. Now we need to add the video.js CSS file to our main app, as well as add a few helper classes. We'll then open our main app.css file and include our video.scss file and some CSS classes. We'll then open our main app.css file and include our video.css and include our video.scss file and add some CSS classes we'll use later. We'll then open our main app.scss file. We'll go ahead and include our video.scss file as well as some helper classes that we'll use later. We're now in a place where we can go ahead and start creating our video player component. But first, we must make sure that we tell our Node package manager to run our compiler. And we want to make sure that it's watching it. So now we can go ahead and open our assets.js components directory, and we will go ahead and create our new video player.view file. Now we can start building out video player component. I'll go ahead and get some base markup written. We want to go ahead and import our VideoJS library from the video.js package that we installed. Now we can start writing the markup for our video player. VideoJS uses the video tag, and it uses a few helper classes to define it as a VideoJS player. So first, we want to give it an ID of video so that we can access it and turn it into a VideoJS player. Then we will go ahead and add the VideoJS classes. VideoJS will define it as a Video.js player. The VJS default skin will give it the default VideoJS skin. The VJS big play center gives us a play button in the center of the video. And VJS 16:9 sets our aspect ratio. We want to make sure that controls are available to our users. We want to set preload auto, and we'll use a few data setup configurations to give us our responsive feel to our video player. To do this, we say that we want our video player to be fluid, means that it will scale to its container width and height, as well as just continue to define the preload as. To add our post and video source, we need to have the video thumbnail URL as well as the video URL. We're going to be passing that through in our component as attributes, so we'll go ahead and define those variables in our props. So that will be the video URL that we'll define as null, as well as our thumbnail URL that will also be num. And we're going to also be passing in our video UID, so we'll make sure that we define that as well. Now we can go ahead and add our poster by binding the attribute poster that will use the thumbnail URL, and we'll go ahead and define our source as a type of video MP4, and we'll go ahead and bind the video URL source. When this player gets mounted, we want to define that this video is a VideoJS player by initializing it. In order to do so, we will need a couple of local variables. We'll first start off by saying player, and this will define the instance of the player. And we're also going to be storing the duration of the video. So once our component is mounted, we'll go ahead and use our player variable and instantiate it as a VideoJS player, and we give it the ID. Tell it that we use a video element with the ID of video. To load our duration, we'll use one of VideoJS's helper functions to track an event. So we'll do this.player.on, and what we want to use is on loaded metadata. We will get the duration. So we'll store it under this.duration. So we'll use this.duration. We want to make sure that we round the duration to get a whole number, and in this case a whole second, and we'll just get the player's duration. Now that our component is completed, we need to create our show page to see it. So to do that, we'll go ahead and create a new view under our views videos directory, and we'll call it show.blade.php. Next, we'll go ahead and add some base markup to start off. The show template will have multiple conditions based on if a user is viewing their own videos, if a video is private, if a video is transcoding, etc. The first check that we do is to see if the video is private, a user is logged in, and that the logged in user owns the video. If so, we output a message notifying the user that the video is private and they are the only ones that can see it at the time. Next up, we will need to check to see if the video has been processed. If the video hasn't been processed, then we render a placeholder stating that the video is being processed and to come back later. If it is processed, we make sure that the video can be accessed, and if it can't, then we render out a placeholder stating that the video is private. You can see here that we are going ahead and using our helper classes that we defined in our CSS file earlier. Our final check will render out our video player. If the video has been processed and can be accessed, then we will render our video player component. Our last section to complete in this template is the area for our metadata. We render out the video's name, view count, description, and link to the video owner's channel and our subscription button so that users can subscribe to the video's channel. Now we can add our show method in our video's controller. We'll go ahead and under index, our show method returns our show template, and we pass the associated video to that template. Finally, our last step is to add our route to access this page. Since users that aren't logged in can also see the video, we would go ahead and add our route under our home template, and this basically will allow you to access any video using videos /the UID, and it will render out our show method. Now we have the ability to view our videos. We are all set to move on to tracking our video views.